been refereeing for some time, but just joined the ranks of the full-time officials, Greg Dolan. So not the normal, you can just see to the left of the shot there. Now normally Wigan would be here in big numbers, their supporters. Not quite the same turnout for this one, but difficult to get down to the south of France at this time of the year without paying a fortune. It's difficult to come in the other way to get to the Challenge Cup final for the poor old Catalan Dragons and their supporters. We're underway in Perpignan anyway.
Imagine this is going to be a real tough encounter. In Catalan playing at home for the first time since they qualified to play in the Challenge Cup final. This man who's got the ball now, he's going to be a part of the Catalan Dragons next year. The former man of steel, Sam Tompkins, I'm sure he'll be booed today, but they'll welcome him next year. Big physical challenge, and I said last night there'll be players that'll be playing for a position in the cup final, and I'm sure that a couple of the players now in the Catalan side have got the chance and want to take that opportunity against the Warriors.
There's Gabe Hamlin playing the ball. He was a bit of a doubt going into this game, the young Australian. He picked up a knock to the knee against the Castleford Tigers last week, had a fitness test once they got to France, came through that okay. There is Lucas Albert playing at full-back. Tony Gigot, a late withdrawal. Now whether that's Steve McNamara just deciding that, yeah, we'll keep Gigot out of the firing line.
Well, a sensible approach from the coach. He's only changed one player, brought Lucas Albert in, kept everything pretty much as is. We'll see what kind of a threat he can bring while he's got the ball in the hand. But what focus Catalan will have will be about dominating the middle third, focusing on themselves, doing what they do very well. That's a wonderful ball.
And here goes Braden Williami. He's looking for some support. He needs somebody there. Samisoni Langi was joining him, but Braden Williami eventually brought down in the shadow of those posts. McAlorum, Baitieri takes the tackle, gets the pass away, is batted on, and Catalan keep the ball alive. Drinkwater, little kick ahead, and Wigan are going to escape. Liam Marshall might escape, not to be, but could have been a whole lot worse with that break from Braden Williami.
Outstanding play, wasn't it? They go to the left-hand side. It's a good ball there from Josh Drinkwater, the Fijian back rower who's playing in the centre, goes through here, he's looking for support, keeps hold of it though, doesn't panic, and just knows that he's got to get down and get back up and play the ball as quick as he can. Decent pressure and a decent start from the Catalan Dragons.
Force the goal line dropouts. And Sam Tompkins, who, as Terry said, will be in Catalan colours next season. What a prospect that must be for the Dragons fans, given his form this season since he's come back.
He'll have some job to make the same impact as Josh Drinkwater. It was his kick that forced that goal line dropout, his pass that led to the break.
Here is Drinkwater, short ball, finds Sam Moa. Rested last week for the defeat in Warrington, like so many other players. Here is Drinkwater. Now Kenny Edwards. Edwards offloads, does get the ball back. And the referee says that is a knock-on the floor.
Always looking to play through the line. Kenny Edwards is very good, gets over the top of a couple of Wigan defenders. Just can't get a clean pass away. There's a lot of talk about Josh Drinkwater, and obviously he's been fabulous in his 14 appearances for the club, but I think the heartbeat of the side right the way through the year, even in the bad times at the beginning, was Michael McLaurin, the former Wigan Warrior. I think the way that he plays, how tough he is the heartbeat, he gets off the line, and I think his performance in the Challenge Cup semi-final typifies what he's all about. He's clever with the ball, but he can also hurt you in defence.
Well, he's a member of a formidable Catalan Dragons pack, who have, that's Thornley putting that ball down against his former club. First touch, not a good one from Ian Thornley.
Had a grasp at that, didn't he? He was a little bit too far in front of him for him to feel confident and comfortable. There will be some pressure on this team. Individually, they'll feel pressure. But it's only the pressure they're going to apply to themselves.
Head and feed to the Wigan Warriors then, who travelled on Friday. Gave themselves time to make the journey rather than scrambling in and out in the day, as they have done before. And they've been under pressure in the opening minutes of this game. Catalan coming close to opening the scoring with that Braden Williame break. Here is Ben Flower now. Ricochets off the first challenge. Baitieri makes sure he doesn't go any further. Tommy Luluai, John Bateman. Bateman gets the pass on, but the Catalan Dragons are there in numbers. Hamlin on Williams, out wide, drops at the feet of Marshall. He has to stop and regain possession.
Good line speed from Catalan, forcing Wigan backwards. Trying to play lateral. You can see they're very tough when you go straight at them.
It's Joe Greenwood. Powell now. And Tompkins, under pressure, gets the kick away. It's a high one. And Fouad Yaha is underneath it.
Under pressure from McAlorum, he's not going to give his future teammate and former teammate his own way. There's enough pressure to make that a high rather than a far and distance kick. But it's no surprise that we're going to shift in the ball onto the edges. They don't want to take this big physical and mobile pack of Catalan Dragons on. They're trying to play outside them.
Jason Baitieri making his 199th Catalan Dragons appearance, playing the ball. What about 200 at Wembley next week for Jason Baitieri?
Been a great servant to the club, hasn't it? Gives every ounce of effort every time he takes the field.
Drinkwater has time to place the kick, but it's straight into the arms of Tom Davis. Now he's pretty effective at returning these. Somebody's got a poke in the eyes. Fouad Yaha there.
Yes, there's an awful lot of work, doesn't he, Tom Davis? You've got to make sure you switch on, and you're right, Fouad Yaha just takes a bit of a knock here when he's taking the ball back, Davis. You just see clashes heads with Braden Williame, pulls out of it straight away. Knowing that you've got to be good, you've got to be strong when Tom Davis, whenever he has the ball for Wigan. For this, that's the one that gets you. Didn't quite see where his teammate was coming from, Fouad Yaha.
Seems to be okay. Shake of the head. The chunky winger, who's been in good form, has got 7 tries in his last 6 appearances for the Catalan Dragons, as Fouad Yaha. He's back on his feet, but the penalty conceded, and Wigan a chance to turn the tables. Having been under pressure, here is Romain Navarrete, former Catalan Dragon player, who's having a good stint at the moment for the Wigan Warriors, getting game time and making good use of it, as is this guy, Gabe Hamlin.
He has been a good signing, hasn't he? He's not the tallest, but he certainly carries some punch when he's driving the ball in.
Williams, they're going down the short side with Greenwood. Greenwood looking over his shoulder. Has lost the ball. They'll be penalised again.
He's only going to get better, you know, for Wigan Warriors. We're starting to see he's somewhere near full fitness. He's got a huge frame, 6'5". He's always going to get over the top of those defenders.
Referee Dolan awarding the penalty to Wigan there for an infringement. Here is Gabe Hamlin then. And Sam Powell in this hooking roll, scanning the territory. Luluai, a bit static, Wigan Warriors, and no forward oomph at the moment. And then it's provided by Willie Isa, another one of the fitness doubts ahead of this game, needed a check-up. Ben Flower drives the ball in. Benjamin Julien makes the tackle. Anthony Maria is there as well. Powell, short pass from Powell. Navarrete tackled just short of the try line. Powell, Tompkins on to Marshall. Marshall skipping so quick. Oh, quick on his feet, and Marshall's twanged something there. Went down in a heap. Play continues with Isa. Tom Davis, the man with no number, has lost that already if he ever started with it. And Davis is tackled. Referee calls a halt.
Didn't look good, did it, when Liam Marshall went down? Nobody with him, near him. No collision.
Now then.
Was it when he stepped off his left foot?
As you said, Tez, when players fall down and nobody's around them, you automatically start to wince. And Liam Marshall's doing his own wincing. He steps off that left foot. He does this a lot. He steps inside. Yeah,
it just buckles it. Very similar to Leeds winger Ryan Hall.
Yeah,
nobody around. You step off. You try and accelerate.
And he's had a great year as well. Both those players, Tom Davies, Liam Marshall, players for the future, but players for now. Back against either of them making that New Zealand Test series for England at the back end of the year. Doc Brooks is on hand, the medical staff, they want to get him off and assess him properly.
What a terrible shame that is for Liam Marshall. Wigan's top try scorer this season with 16, and has been in sparkling form, and Morgan Escaray onto familiar territory for him, the former Catalan player, in place of the injured Liam Marshall. Tom Davies plays the ball, don't know what's happened to his number 2, but the little chip kick ahead, and Escaray will look for his first touch, and it's belted out of play, coming across.
Well, not taking any chances here.
Lucas
Albert, yeah. Obviously Morgan Escaray around where the ball could be bouncing, and Lucas Albert thinking, well, I'm not going to take any chances trying to catch it, I'm just going to kick it off the field of play, concede another set of 6, but that'll do us.
Lucas Albert playing in that full-back position in place of Tony Gigot, the late withdrawal, and it's Albert's first full-back job since a Challenge Cup tie against Hull last year. He's been in the side for the last 2 games, but in the halves. Here is Davies clutching that ball and then changing direction, the right direction. Willie Isa, John Bateman, Edwards and Baitieri with the tackle.
They look like they're overloading the left-hand side here.
Powell, it's the way they go. Skipping infield is Williams. Williams trying to bustle his way through. 3 tackles gone. Catalan on their own try line. Powell, short ball from him, and they will be in for the first try of the game for Joe Greenwood. And Greenwood got his first Wigan try against the Catalan Dragons last month in the 25-20 win, and he's got another one against the Dragons here. And the small contingent of Wigan supporters celebrate the first points of the game.
Well, Barry said he's only going to get better, and he only had 1 man to beat, and that was Samoa. He beats him for footwork and speed. Samisoni Langia gone past where his teammate was, presented that gap, and then all of a sudden, instead of the ball going out the back, it just hit the big back rower who's playing on the left edge, and that'll make the Wigan travelling fans happy. A decent start.
Joe Greenwood returning from his NRL stint with Gold Coast and making an impact for the Wigan Warriors. Played for Burleigh Bears as well this year, not being able to get into the Gold Coast first team. A pretty good first season, but fell out of favour this year, and the offer came for a return to Super League and in Wigan colours. Now Sam Tompkins. Catalan Dragons fans will be getting used to this next year when he's in the Dragons colours. But he's got a season to finish off with the Wigan Warriors, and there's still glory beckoning for them. They can land a home semi-final. And Tompkins on target.
Yeah, as you say, Billy, arrived to the club back in June from the NRL Gold Coast, and it was obvious it was going to take him some time to get used to the pace, used to the systems and structures of Wigan. But that's not about systems and structures, that's just about running hard, running into a gap, using that footwork. As I said, he's a very tall player out on the edges and fringes.
Popular try scorer. Here is Ben Flower. Wholehearted commitment is what you get from the Welshman. 10 years in the professional game now. And there's the try scorer. Underneath a pile of Catalan tacklers. Liam Marshall off the field injured for the Wigan Warriors early in this contest, but they're ahead by 6 points to nil.
Started well last week as well, didn't they? Against Casford, they were 20-0 up at half-time. So Catalan, knowing that they're up against the side that want to score points, that want to get out of the blocks really quickly, and they've done that in the opening 11.5 minutes.
40.
Kick comes in, and the deputy fullback, Lucas Albert, is underneath that, running across the field, straight into Williams and Greenwood.
He's not got much space to move in, hasn't he, Albo? When he gets that ball, he's bouncing across, he's looking for that gap, but there's nothing there. And again, decent aggressive line speed, good initial contact, then helped out by a number of other players.
So Tierney, another former Wigan player. There's another one, Thornley. Now in Catalan colours, Ian Thornley. Hasn't been able to stake a claim for a regular place this season. Ian Thornley. 4 tackles gone. As Fouad Yaha struggles to get to his feet to play the ball, and the referee will award the penalty. Romain Navarrete, his former club colleague, making no effort to clear the ruck there.
Strong carry, wasn't it, from Fouad Yaha? Gets over the top of Navarrete, and as soon as he wins this battle with 3 defenders around him, he gets up, he places the ball on top of Navarrete, which earns his side a penalty.
So Catalan looking to hit back. Samoa. There is Michael McAlorum, Baitieri, Anthony Maria. Once the Lee Centurions. Greenwood, who seems to be everywhere at the moment, upending him. Catalan fans didn't like that one. Drinkwater. Albert. Here is Kenny Edwards starting a game. He's been on the bench since he joined the Catalan Dragons after falling out of favour at Parramatta. But starting this one, McAlorum, Baitieri, Samisoni Langi, Benjamin Julien, and good defence. Dan Sargentson stopped him in his tracks there. Tompkins there as well. McAlorum back to Drinkwater. Little grubber kick from Drinkwater, and there's offside there against Gabe Hamlin.
Yeah, he couldn't resist picking that ball up. A low kick, trying to get the ball in the in-goal area. It hits Bateman. Gabe Hamlin can't not pick it up. Anthony Maria picked up and driven down, and they have to compete in the middle chunk and the middle area.
Hang on, he's given Wigan the penalty.
I'm not sure what that decision was from Greg Dolan. I thought that was offside. But when Catalan were attacking, I think it was the third play, they missed an opportunity. They went through the front door, they give it to Benjamin Julien. There was some space out wide over on the right-hand side, and he just didn't see that. Didn't quite have the vision to score that try.
Catalan are judged offside, the penalty awarded against them. They thought it was coming their way. It's Wigan quick to turn defence into attack here. Williams, short ball, finds Greenwood. Thornley with the tackle. He's lost possession. Referee says play on. Here's Tierney now.
Well, Thornley was all around Greenwood then. And the Catalan fans are happy at least that they've got the ball back. It's 40 metres from the line now. Thornley comes up with a strong carry, leaves defenders on the floor. And you can just see again, another penalty goes in their favour. The outside backs are really tucking the ball under the wing, going forward, leaving Wigan defenders on the floor, and then the next play is, it's an unclean pick-up from the hooker, which forces the referee, Greg Dolan, to give that penalty.
So here's Benjamin Julien. 15 minutes gone. Wigan ahead by 6 points to nil. That Joe Greenwood try, converted by Tompkins. Here is Anthony Maria. Bateman gets a hold of him. Sargentson.
Wait for it, wait.
Navarrete involved. Jason Baitieri. Hamlin with the tackle. 3 gone. Drinkwater. Samisoni Langi. Thornley onto Tierney. Tierney cutting back in field.
Good one to readjust then. George Williams just bit in then on a Catalan player.
Here is Samisoni Langi finding some form. Drinkwater puts the kick in. Oh, it's Davis who manages to keep a hold of it. No, he doesn't. It squirts away, and it's Fouad Yaha picks it up. And then was wrestling for it, and the referees said there's a knock-on after all.
There's so many options when it comes to the last tackle. Lucas Albert normally plays in the halves. Samisoni Langi, Josh Drinkwater, Michael McAlorum can take responsibility of that. There is a mistake, a knock-on. And Willie Isa, he's involved in that tackle. And Wigan in a bit of a scramble mode on their own try line.
Mickey's pretending to trip over. I'll watch on it.
Head and feed then to the Catalan Dragons.
Okay, let's go, guys.
Tom Davis not able to deal with that
Heads in first.
skimming kick.
Heads in. Sam.
So Catalan
Out.
putting pressure on this Wigan defence.
Whoa.
Busquet is off the bench, one of the players returning to the side for this game as they prepare. Oh, great defence. Luluai shot off the line and put an end very quickly to that Catalan attack.
Well, he's not the biggest, is he, Thomas Luluai? But defence, he certainly does win some plaudits by the way that he attacks the man who's carrying the ball. Likes to hit underneath the ball and really lift up the opponent and drop him on his back, but even just getting off the line and getting and rushing Catalan forces the error. They've got some players who play with some decent vision. Catalan close to the opposition line, and
Okay, Thomas, let's go.
Wigan know that. Thomas Luluai knows that. He knows the man who he's got to stop, and the man who's normally the man to stop is Josh Drinkwater.
Hold. Go.
Wigan working the ball upfield then. After that good tackle from Thomas Luluai on Josh Drinkwater, the man who has lost only twice in the 14 appearances he's made for the Dragons since joining them from West Magpies. But it's Sam Powell to Gabe Hamlin.
Move. Hold.
4 tackles gone.
Probably say he's Super League's most influential signing this year, wouldn't you, Josh Drinkwater?
Good
hands.
Yeah.
5.
Williams on his toes, that one was.
Dipping pass from Ben Flower.
Outside.
Tompkins gets the kick away under pressure, and Lucas Albert retrieves it. Good chase from Wigan, good line.
And that's the area of the game. There are a couple of areas that they'll have to sacrifice by putting Lucas Albert in at fullback. One might be the defensive organisation when they're in goal line defence, and then the kick return. Tony Gigo, such a difficult man. You've no chance trying to second guess what he's doing, because I don't think he knows himself.
3.
Kept out of the firing line, it seems, by Steve McNamara ahead of this game. Maybe there was a little niggle picked up in training, didn't want to risk it. We're not sure about that, but they don't want to risk anything with such a big day looming for them next Saturday at Wembley. Their second appearance in a Challenge Cup final.
Play on.
Play on, says the referee. Looked like a bit of a bobble from Benjamin Julien, but nonchalantly done by Tompkins, and then offloads to Tom Davis.
All about attitude this game, I think, for Catalan.
Hold.
Making sure they get through the game, but do the right things as well. They've got to be physical. Don't want to go into any collision half-hearted, whether they've got the ball or they're defending.
Here is Dan Sargentson skipping Thomas Luluai.
3. Move. With a 10.
Brought down by Kenny Edwards. Bateman
Play on.
flicks the pass away, does well. Tompkins trying to set Williams away through the middle, but Julien makes the tackle. So Sam Tompkins kicks into open space, and it's a good kick, and Lucas Albert will try and bring it back. At least gets out of his in-goal area.
Good, well-placed kick, wasn't it, from Sam Tompkins?
Well, that wasn't a play of the ball from Lucas Albert. He was on his knees when he rolled that ball backwards.
Fuad Yaha shows him how it's done. Ooh, Kenny Edwards, Tony Clubb, welcome to the party.
Move. Hold.
Tony Clubb on the field and making an impact.
4.
Sam Moa
Hold.
benefited from a break last week, but looking to add a Wembley appearance to an NRL Grand Final. Sam Moa, Grand final win, that is. Josh Drinkwater thumps the kick downfield. Tompkins underneath it.
Decent defensive line though, pushing up then Morgan Escray. Oh, dangerous play. Well, when he goes at the line, I'm sure that Sam Tompkins will say, next time you do that, just take it in. I won't support you.
He's nicked it.
Yeah, he's had the ball stripped from Langy.
There's a one-on-one strip, and the referee said the knock-on is by Samisoni Langi. A little bit loose from Wigan. First of all, when he goes in to the tackle, Morgan Escray offloads to Sam Tompkins, and from that play the ball, Dan Sarginson gets in a one-on-one wrestle and loses.
Jason Baitieri, as ever, keen to discuss the decision with the match official.
Okay, guys, let's start.
Just so he can translate it to his teammates.
Heads in.
I think that's why he always puts himself forward, Bill.
Former Aussie schoolboys player, but brought up in France. Well, Kenny Edwards went looking for a big hit, but it's Wigan who counter with Tom Davis.
Isn't he so powerful? Whenever he gets the ball in his hands, he is a real threat when he goes at the line.
Go.
Willie Isa, Tompkins, Baitieri there to make the tackle.
Go, make the 10. Hold. Okay, Sam.
Down the middle with Ryan Sutton.
Good ball on the inside. Catalan just switching off around the play of the ball.
Sam Powell, Wigan edging the way forward. Now out to Morgan Escray, now on that left wing in place of the injured Liam Marshall, and Escray cutting back in field. Greenwood flings a pass into the middle of the field to Ryan Sutton, and Sutton, another of the Wigan players who will be heading off to the NRL next year. Tackled.
Go.
About 12 metres out. Tompkins' little grubber kick, too strong.
No, it's
and
okay.
Be tap on the 20. Wigan appealing for
20.
an obstruction there, saying that I think Willie Isa it was who was blocked.
When the ball goes out to Morgan Escray, the former Catalan Dragons plays, he just another one of those players that really does light up the pitch. John Behrman turning around saying to the referee, was that not an obstruction? Should we have got a penalty? But the referee in a decent part of the field.
That's 3 times Wigan now have thrown the ball wide, found some space, but Catalan have moved the defence. They seem to be willing to show one of those winger players. It was Liam Marshall at first, Morgan Escray now. You can have the outside, you can have some space, but we're good enough to close it down.
Steve McNamara ringing the changes, Louis Anderson on, and so is Mikael Gudemond, this very promising second rower. Here is Louis Anderson. Here is Julian Bousquet, making his 150th Catalan Dragons appearance. Had a really solid season. He's only missed 2 games this year as Bousquet. Here is Louis Anderson. Anderson still going, tries to fling the pass away, but it'll come up for Thomas Luluai.
He already played that play before it was on, didn't he? Louis Anderson. He got the ball, he gets his arm free, tries to offload it, the former Warrington player. Don't forget, played at Wembley in 2009 and 2010 for that club.
3.
Dan Sarginson plays the ball across the field with Morgan Escray. Escray on halfway. Sutton, and he leaves Bousquet on his backside.
He does carry the ball hard, doesn't he, Sutton? He picks out one man and just gets over the top of him. Good kick into the corner. Splits the winger and fullback.
Fuad Yaha.
And when you got someone the size of Fuad Yaha, you don't want to kick the ball in front of him. You want to kick it behind him. Makes it difficult for the bigger man. Good carry again here from Braden Williami.
George,
it just seemed like they're missing a little bit to me, Catalan Dragons. Remy Castille, Mikel Simon not playing in this match. No working yardage. The direct way that they run the ball means that middle channel, where the big man has they play now, is pretty dominant for the Catalan Dragons.
Going down the left-hand side here. And he gets a lot of ball, doesn't he, Kenny Edwards? For a big man, he's got decent footwork at the line, gets rid of defenders.
Lucas Albert gets himself out of trouble and puts a good kick in. He did well there, did the 20-year-old.
He's got a lot of talent, hasn't he? And what a pressure he was under as well. Wigan defenders getting out from the ruck area, putting pressure on him. He's got one man coming from outside, one man coming from inside. He manages to kick the ball between them. And Oliver Partington now on the field. Made his debut last week, and remember his hit on Adam Milner.
Partington, the 8th Wigan debutant this year. Sean Wayne not afraid
guys, let's go then, please.
to throw some of the youngsters in.
Never has been all the way through his time. He's always showed faith in those young players.
Let's go then, fellas.
Had a good approach, know when to put them in, when to pull them out. And Oliver Partington, another one on that conveyor belt.
So head and feed
Out!
to the Wigan Warriors deep in their own half. They lead by 6 points to 0, the only points of the game so far coming from that Joe Greenwood try, converted by Tompkins.
Goal.
And really, there hasn't been that much threat to either try line, has there? In between.
No, there's not. I think both teams would be happy to try and play out the sets and then take the opportunities when they get near their opponent's try line. But it's just getting down there, the try line. There's going to be hard with hits like that. You see Busquets on Ryan Sutton, Louis Anderson also involved in that collision.
The referee
Lose contact. Come away, Julian,
says Busquets could have made more of an effort there.
Well, he lost contact. He come up with a decent hit, and then he gets bounced back, and then he tries to fall back onto the tackle to slow it down. And that's the reason why the referee, Greg Dolan, gives the penalty away.
Guys, line!
So Catalan backtracking. That penalty.
Go.
Good kick. Takes Wigan deep into Dragons territory, and Bateman skipping. Brought down though.
Hold.
Looking to progress his career with Canberra next season, as is this guy Ryan Sutton.
Hold.
Big adventure for them. Now Williams, another man who's been linked with an NRL move, but here's Luluai. Good tackle from Braden Williame. Edwards there to help and finish off. 3 gone though. Wigan in a promising position. Little kick from Williams. It's a good one. Tierney can't hang around here. And Escaré very nearly capitalised. Tierney just got it right.
Well, the space just opened up for Williams, and the only option really that was on was that kick. Unfortunately, Morgan Escaré can't get there, and Lewis Tierney, wasn't he brave letting that ball go? Sam Tompkins reloading over on the right-hand side to this man, Thomas Luluai. Every time he's had the ball, he's looked the threat in this first half, Thomas Luluai.
St Helens probably watching on and urging the Catalan Dragons to do a job on Wigan today. It'll make their task of claiming top spots a little bit simpler. If the Dragons win, then it could present St Helens with the chance to clinch the league leadership at home on August the 31st against none other than the Wigan Warriors, and I'm sure that that'd be a tempting prospect.
I'm sure the fans would be happy with that, Bill, to do that and in front of the nearest and dearest.
Thornley, Louis Anderson, Lucas Albert, I beg your pardon, and the ball's almost snapped up by Thomas Luluai. Play on, says the referee. It went backwards. Luluai was hoping for a knock-on. Kenny Edwards. Kenny Edwards. I love it. He looks at Partington and says, come on then, come on.
We didn't see Ryan Sutton coming from the other side though, did he?
What is going through his mind there is, come and have a go if you think you're hard enough.
Little chip kick ahead. Lucas Albert is chasing this. It's going to be too strong.
6.
Did it just touch Sam Tompkins, I think it did. And it's Sam Tompkins. He's trying to shield the ball over the dead ball line. It bounces up and it just comes off him. Great call by the referee.
I think what Sam Tompkins was saying was the player that collided with me pushed me into the ball. It's a fruitless argument.
See Sam saying he pushed me in the back.
Lucas Albert it was who was chasing hard. The ball is bounced up. At that bounce there's a collision with Albert.
I think Sam's got a point.
Very rarely do referees change their mind.
Here goes Ryan Sutton watching from the left-hand side of your screen now. There you go. We saw that last week when Adam Milner and a couple of the cast players come running in on the youngster. All of a sudden, all the senior guys, although it's their senior, is only 22, Ryan Sutton.
23.
23, a year out.
Goal line dropout it is. Louis Anderson, long-time servant to the Catalan Dragons, has lost the ball, and Bateman has it back, and Wigan will counter with Tom Davis. Davis taken high, shrugs off the challenge.
Is it the youngster Gudemond who come up with that shot? I think when Davis steps inside, comes off his right foot, tries to get rid of the defender,
please.
and just takes a high shot.
Between. There you are now, guys.
Wigan looking for a third win
Wait, play.
of this campaign against the Catalan Dragons.
One.
Here is Clubb.
Move. Go, stand on the mark.
Big effort from Tony Clubb this season. He's missed only one game all campaign for the Warriors. Greenwood. Williams, little show and go from Williams, almost went. Quick play the ball. Catalan struggling to contain the Wigan Warriors here.
Stand. Ball.
4 tackles gone. Tompkins plays the ball. Luluai.
Move. Hold.
Alrix da Costa makes the tackle. Tompkins puts a little kick in, it's a great one, and batted over the dead ball line by Lewis Tierney.
Wigan's playmakers, the spine are really dangerous. Sam Tompkins, George Williams, Thomas Luluai and Sam Powell, they all want to take on the defensive line. You don't know when they're running at you, whether they're going to pass it, whether they're going to take it on, they'll show and go. And they certainly are not afraid to word a tackle from some of these bigger Catalan forwards.
Just like, as we see this kick from Sam Tompkins has yielded this goal line dropout, just like the game at Castleford last night. Any time a Warrington player went down, oh no.
And that's going through the minds of those players. You've got to try and get rid of that. Play in the moment, stay in the moment. Don't look hours, days, week ahead.
Go then.
And you're right, Tez, I think when Thomas Luluai is in the right mindset and he's in the mood to take defenders on, big men, he really troubles them. There's Tony Gigot, just greeting a few people in the crowd. Looks like he's okay. Should be all right for next week.
One. Move. Hold.
Meanwhile, play continues with the Wigan Warriors, who will know just how the Catalan Dragons are feeling a week ahead of the Challenge Cup final, having been in the same position last year.
It's particularly last night, Bill, I think it's only human nature to look at next week, but you've got to get through this game without injury. And without injury, you see how hard they're going into each other. Still 2 vital league points on offer here today.
Williams, good hit on him from Gudemond.
Hold.
Dislodged the ball, but it went backwards. 4 tackles gone. Partington.
5.
19-year-old.
Hold. Go.
Powell. Luluai. Tompkins. Williams, little dink over the top, straight into the arms of Lucas Albert. And Lucas Albert straight into the arms of Sargentson and Escaré.
Good positioning then from Lucas Albert. Caught it on the full. Anticipated it well.
Bit of a knee there.
Yeah. Jan Sargentson and Morgan Escaré involved in the tackle.
On time, fellas.
Very hot, humid, sunny conditions. The players and the game just at a little bit of a lull now.
It is about 27 degrees still.
Time off, please.
Which makes it dangerous, doesn't it? With just over 5 minutes to go before half-time. And Barry said, good positioning here. Under some pressure from Escaré and Sargentson. Gets the ball, takes it cleanly.
Wait for the play, wait! Yeah, wait for him.
The penalty relieves a bit of the pressure on this Catalan side, but Ian Thornley is going nowhere apart from back towards his own try line at the moment. No sentiment there for a former teammate. Louis Anderson now in his 11th Super League season. Drinkwater just hold on to that. Braden Williami, but good defending from Willie Isa. Fuad Yaha. Here's Kenny Edwards. 4 tackles gone.
Hold.
Just inside their own half, the Catalan Dragons. Alrix, De Costa out there.
5. Move.
Busquet, 5th tackle. And the ball with Samisoni Langi. Hoist that one.
Okay.
And Tompkins, as he has been all evening in Perpignan, very solid and confident underneath the ball. And look at this counter from him. Tierney is chasing. Tompkins with the pass. And Escaré will have the satisfaction of a try against his former club underneath the posts. But he can take his hat off to the way that Sam Tompkins countered for the Wigan Warriors. And Morgan Escaré, the beneficiary of this.
Clinical from Wigan. You see Sam Tompkins assesses this perfectly. There has been 1 or 2 question marks since his return from the NRL, that he's not as quick as he was in his younger days. And although the legs might not be as quick, the mind and the brain is lightning fast. As soon as he catches that ball, as soon as he pouches it, he has it in 2 hands, and he's making the defenders make those wrong decisions. And what a try for the returning hero, Morgan Escaré. Wonderful stuff from Wigan Warriors.
Escaré, I think, getting a grudging round of applause from the home supporters as he finished off that, because he got 64 tries in 91 appearances for Catalan.
This is good balance, isn't it? When he gets outside of form, he gets rid of Tierney. And look at the timing of this pass. He's looking over his shoulder. As soon as he pulls in the youngster, Lucas Albert, he then gives the ball on to that man, Morgan Escaré, who knows has got the speed to finish it off. Further 30 metres to the try line. Good sides can get you, all of a sudden you think that you've got them, they're down near their own try line, you get to the kick, and then that man gets hold of the ball and shows his class.
Escaré was a try scorer against the Catalan Dragons when Wigan beat them last month, 25-20. Probably just trying to curb the celebration there, as players sometimes do when they return to old stamping grounds. You don't want to rub it in too much, do you?
No, he's still got to get on the bus and get to the airport, hasn't he?
Rugby league players don't celebrate tries too much anyway. There's a long way and a big distance to go in this game before anybody in a Wigan or a Catalan shirt will think about celebrating.
Sam Tompkins just having a word with somebody who appeared in the corner of his eye there before he converted that to put Wigan 12-0 up.
Well, he told someone to stay still. On this occasion, he didn't tell this man to stay still. Morgan Escaré did him a disservice there. I said 30 metres out. I think it was more like 45 metres out.
And you can apply the same theory towards Morgan Escaré. Sam Tompkins is on his way to Catalan Dragons, so 1, he'll want to let the fans watching know exactly what they're in for, but 2, he's going to keep his class, keep his dignity, and just play the game in the right manner.
12-0 up. The Wigan Warriors looking to put a bit of distance between themselves and the Cassavant Tigers for that second place battle. A point in it at the moment. Could be 3 if Wigan can go on and win this game.
Well, 2 games in a row now. Wigan have kept their opponents to 0. If they can keep them to 0 at half-time. So Sean Wayne, he'll be really pleased with his teammates. He'll want him to continue in the second half.
Yeah, he won't want the same response in the second half.
Goal.
Gabe Hamlin now.
5.
So Wigan doing
Hold.
a good job on this Catalan side, limiting their attacking options. As Tompkins looks for 1 point to round off the first half, wide of the target though.
And you could see them setting that up, Bill, and they've played really sensibly in the opening 38 minutes or so. They've completed high, It's not been perfect, but they've been methodical and purposeful, and that's an example. They worked the field, got into the right spot. Ultimately, it didn't result in getting that drop goal over, but the thought process was particularly good today.
Hold. Go.
Ulrich da Costa for Sami Soni Langi. He's lost the ball. Escaré has seized it, and he could have a second try before half-time. Morgan Escaré pounces and celebrates this time. And Catalan Dragons, trying to come up with something before the break, only succeed in gifting their old boy another try.
Well, they've seized on the opportunity there. Loose pass, a loose ball, and Ulrich da Costa, great player that he is, he's not going to catch the fullback, and he celebrates the try. He thinks, I'll give you one, but this next one is mine. And he kicks the ball as high as he can, and I think one or two of the players are pointing at somebody, Bill.
Morgan Escaré didn't have to go quite so far to finish that one off. Bit of a nightmare for the Catalan Dragons then.
Stay there, guys.
Did well to react to that though, didn't he, Morgan Escaré? Quick on his feet, quick of mind as well.
Half-time hooter sounds, and Sam Tompkins will round the first half off, surely with 2 more points to complete a very satisfactory first 40 minutes for this Wigan side. Not home and dry yet. As pointed out, they were well ahead against the Castleford Tigers last time out and scrambled to victory in the end. But Tompkins lands another 2 points.
Well, only with the mistake of Morgan Escaré with the speed here. A tremendous play of Morgan Escaré.
Escaré then celebrating back-to-back tries for him. A satisfactory Wigan performance, 18-0. They lead at half-time. They came back, though, did Wigan, themselves against the Catalan Dragons last time they were here. Had to turn it round there. Can Catalan do that to them in the second half?
Shoulder into the ribs and then leg drive from that point.
At LV, our car insurance comes from the heart. Our uninsured driver promise means if you're hit by someone without insurance, your no-claim discount will stay intact. And you'll have no excess to pay. For cover from just £199, go direct to lv.com.
Ready?
Ready.
Alexa, turn on the lamp.
Okay.
Oh no! Daisy!
Alexa, reorder tissues. Here's what I found.
So much confusion by this thing, that thing, the next thing. When did we choose to have so much choice? Woe betide you picked the wrong path, the wrong deal. It's not real. Of course, there is a way for the confusion to clear. Don't be confused. BeConfused.com.
Get ready for mouth-watering, jaw-dropping, finger-licking Tuesdays with 9 pieces of original recipe chicken for only $5.99 at KFC.
In 1810, the Reverend Henry Duncan did something extraordinary. He built Britain's first savings bank with the sole purpose of helping local people thrive. He knew that in good times as well as bad, that was just the right thing to do. 200 years later, TSB partners still believe that helping local people and their communities is the most important thing they do.
I hear the clock tick and think of you. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting time after time.
It's important to show you care. That's why PlusNet won't raise prices on their brand new fixed-price broadband contracts. PlusNet will do you proud.
The race is on to become the season champion in the start of the 2018 FedEx Playoffs, live on Sky Sports Golf.
Patrick Melrose.
Imagine television if you had impaired vision. We do.
Patrick wobbles off round a corner, only to fall flat on his face. He lurches forward, limbs flailing like a puppet with loose strings.
Mr. Melrose, all good?
Here at Sky, we're passionate about creating audio description to give the richest experience to all our customers. To find out more, call 0303 123 9999, hashtag AD support, or go to audiodescription.org.uk. Sky. Believe in better.
You've got to grind the team down.
Toronto Director of Rugby Brian Noble has called it the biggest test in the history of the Wolfpack. We've got coming up for you live here on Sky Sports, 7:30 p.m. The first time we will feature a home game from Toronto, the Lamport Stadium. Hull Kingston Rovers roll into town after a round one defeat. Toronto, of course, victorious in their first game in the qualifiers. The pressure is on the visitors. Well, from the Stade Gilbert Brutus, it is a half-time scoreline that reads favourably for the fans of the Wigan Warriors. 18-0 up at half-time against the Wembley-bound Catalan Dragons. It's a Super 8s game that Wigan will want to win to secure second spot on the table. And John, it's a first half that marred by an injury to Liam Marshall. We'll touch on that, but one they got off to the best possible start with an early try from Joe Greenwood.
Yeah, it was 10 minutes on the clock, and Greenwood crosses for what would be deemed a soft try, I think, by Steve McNamara, very close to the line. Not be pleased about that. Took them to the 36th minute, and a bit of magic from Sam Tompkins, really significant. That this is from a kick return. I can count on one hand in the last 18 months the amount of kick returns he's taken and not handed off to one of his two bullocking wingers. And that's a nice little bit of deception. Escaré comes off his wing into the middle, ends up getting the assist for the try. Just that little show, and back on the inside of Tierney. He got between the gap of him and Thornley. It's an area of the field that they've looked to exploit in this first 40 minutes. And then Escaré, well, it was the first of two, wasn't it? That came on 36 minutes, Brian. 39 minutes, 3 minutes later, the Catalan Dragons just trying to force it out their half. Thornley not having the greatest of games. He fumbles and allows the former Catalan Dragon to bag a brace just before the half-time hooter.
Yeah, Escaré on the field for the injured Liam Marshall, going up against, as you say, his old side here. Nice smart finish, Johnny on the spot. Listen, that try converted pushes it out to an 18-0 lead. Last night we were at the Mendahos Jungle. We saw the Castleford Tigers with a healthy enough half-time lead against an sort of pretty poor Warrington Wolves side, who sparked up at the start of the second half. They were Wembley bound. They are Wembley bound. They certainly had an eye on that. The Catalan Dragons, what do we think will happen here now? They've got 40 minutes left in this Super 8s game. One that they don't have to win, but they certainly you would think will have to start preparing in performance for Wembley next week. Do you expect a response from them?
Yeah, I do. It's a good point, Brian. I think you saw evidence of that last night. You cannot leave the field the week before Wembley having capitulated in the game of rugby league. So there'll be an awful lot put into this half-time conversation about if not winning this game, then at least taking some kind of momentum and cohesion, rhythm, if not too bland a word, to take into a Challenge Cup final week, because it's a week full of distractions, it's a week full of excitement, and you don't want that to be prefaced by shellacking on the field.
Quick word on Liam Marshall. Of course, the Wigan Warriors will be hoping to secure a home semi-final spot. They'll want their best team on the pitch. It looked a serious injury for him.
Yeah, it did. I think Barry mentioned in commentary and said it's always a worry when there's nobody around you and something goes down like that. I mean, initially I thought it could be anything from an Achilles to a high hamstring injury. It looked, at the end of it, like to be potentially a serious knee injury. But don't forget, they've got Don Manfredi coming back from a similar injury. He's fit, apparently, and ready to go.
Yep, we will give you any updates on Liam Marshall's injury if we get it. It meant that Escaré came onto the field. He has got himself a double, 18-0 at half-time. Well, Wembley may be on the minds of the Catalan Dragons. They'll have to put it to the back of their minds and focus on this Super 8s game. 40 minutes of action lie ahead. Bill and the boys standing by.
Brown misses it. Gelling over the top.
Well done, wizard. You are a true friend of the crown. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly.
What would you have me do now, Your Majesty?
Turn that into Bud Light.
Okay.
Now turn that statue into Bud Light.
You know, Your Highness, I can do other things. I can put a curse on your enemies. I can make you immortal.
Yeah, no, just the Bud Light thing.
Dilly dilly. Keep it, Bud Light.
Hello, Ghostbusters.
Hiya, Janine. It's Greg from the Halifax. I've got your new Visa debit card.
You do?
I do.
You have?
I have.
Well, just give me the address.
Over the big bridge thingy next to the haunted hotel.
We got one!
Here you go, guys. One each. They're contactless. It's the quickest way to buy things up to 30 quid. Easy peasy. Oh, while you're here, they could do with some help upstairs.
Yes, sir. Don't worry.
Great. Have you found him yet? Oh, there he is. I ain't afraid of no What happened? Are you okay? He slimed me. That's great. Actual physical contact. I prefer contact less. It's so much easier. Now go bust that ghost. Well done, boys. I'm free.
Is there anyone who doesn't want me dead?
Next time you get in my way, I will not be so gentle.
Girl problems again.
Shut up! Hands up! Oh, yeah!
Marvel Spider-Man, only on PlayStation. For the players.
For their sake, let's pass on plastic. Sky Ocean Rescue.
Sky Cinema presents a channel dedicated to an Academy Award-winning icon.
How you doing? Can I ask you a question?
What do you see when you look at me? I hear you're some kind of pilot.
You represent progress.
You're a good cop. The city needs you.
Whenever I hear the term New York's finest, you're who I think of.
You've taught this city how to trust the soul of a man rather than the look of him.
Now, I don't give you everything I got to give you. I give you your life.
Feast your eyes on our first ever Denzel Washington collection.
All in a day's work.
Sky Cinema Denzel Washington, available live and on demand.
That was an absolute wicked kick, that.
Wigan led 20-0 last week against the Castleford Tigers, squeaked past them 24-22 come full time. They've got an 18-0 half-time here at Stade Gilbert Brutus. Can the Dragons hit back? Commentary team standing by, led by Bill Arthur.
Catalan ready and waiting for the visitors, who've dominated this contest and looking to make it 3 wins from 3 meetings with the Catalan Dragons this season. Catalan, of course, with one eye on Wembley next week, but Steve McNamara is saying ahead of this game that they don't want to go in to that cup final on the back of a shoddy performance. A big scalp against Wigan would be the perfect way to go into the Challenge Cup final. It's not the way it's panned out so far. It's Wigan who are in the box seat in this game, and we'll get the second half underway And they've been very efficient, Wigan.
Well, Sam Tompkins, when he was just on his way out, turned around and said to his teammates, look lads, let's get the kick chase right. So they want to get the basics right. It's not all about the fancy stuff with the ball, it's about getting to the end of your sets, turning over on your terms and coming up with a decent set in defence the next time you have it.
And if you flip that in the Catalan Dragons, they've been trying to create space rather than exploit it. They haven't showed any patience. They haven't done the things that have been good for them over the last 2 months. Working off the back of that good go forward, getting themselves in good field position. And players like Samisona Langi, Josh Drinkwater, Lucas Albert have had no platform to work off.
Ian Thornley putting himself in the firing line early on in this second half, had a shaky end to the first half of that knock-on, presenting Morgan Escaray with his second try, but Thornley, fair play, put his hand up for that first carry.
Well, you've got to get straight back into the game, you've got to build your confidence up, you can't dwell on any mistakes that you've made in a game.
So Louis Anderson, as Catalan look to hit back.
Bill, he's made a big impact, Louis Anderson. Every time he carries the ball, he's causing some problems.
Drinkwater hoists that kick, finds a bit of space, but Tompkins gathers and returns to the 20 to restart.
Look at the urgency on him as well. He knows he's got to find Tom Davis, but he runs as fast as he can to tap that ball. He's the only player who can tap it back.
Catalan can come back against Wigan. They were 20 points to 6 down recently when they last played Wigan. They came back to level it at 20 points all with 13 minutes to go at the DW, only to lose 25-20 in the end. So it can be done. Gabe Hamlin goes down. There's a grimace on his face. Did get that knock to his knee last week against the Castleford Tigers. Here is John Bateman.
Does this a lot, John Bateman. If the play is closed down for him on his side, he comes back in the middle, he throws a loose offload and gets a lucky bounce. 6 more tackles for the Wigan Warriors.
Lucky to get away with that then, wasn't he?
My word, he was.
They go forward.
Just a bit. I don't know whether there was a Catalan hand in there that helped it forward, but the decision to offload it is un-Wigan-like, according to those last 40 minutes.
Tony Clubb scrambles another couple of metres on his knees. 2 tackles gone. Wigan in good position here. Luluai looks at the referee, felt that was a high tackle. Hamlin is burst through. Gabe Hamlin, lovely little step. Has he got the line in his sights? Oh, just short.
That would have been the best try of his career if he would have scored that game.
He did really well not to score it.
Oh, well, they will score now. And it's Tony Clubb. Didn't like the follow-up tackle from Lucas Albert. There wasn't really much wrong with that, but Clubb furious.
And fair play as well to Tony Clubb. He felt the player on top of him, stood up, saw who it was and just said, OK, I'll let you off then.
It's not very complimentary to Lucas Albert.
No, but a good bit of composure from Wigan, from Tony Clubb, and Gabe Hamlin, who went close, stands up and tries to give the man behind him the benefit of that speed of the play of the ball. Good footwork, and Samisona Langi will want to do better the next time he has that assignment in front of him.
They do this a lot, Wigan. The likes of Ben Flower, Romain Navarrete flash across the back of the ruck. The hooker knows where they're going, he's picked out his man, he gets over the line, but Gabe Hamlin, what about that run? Wasn't about bumpers up and knocking people off. He used his footwork, got through the line. Then he had the ability to get round Lucas Albert, just pull down, and you can see Sam Tompkins now just directing his troops on what he wants. He's obviously going to be lining up the kick now, so he's not going to be walking back with them.
It looked like from his hand gestures he was saying that the play the ball and the defenders around the play the ball, once we've attracted those defenders, we'll try and hit them on the edges and get the ball a little bit wider. And they've won the battle of the midfield, that middle channel where Catalan Dragons have been so dominant in 2018's. The Wigan Warriors have won that battle today.
Sam Tompkins has guided the side around, used his experience. And Catalan Dragons will be looking forward to harnessing that next season when he crosses the channel. Tompkins misses for the first time.
Well, they might not be goal kicking for them next year then, after that effort. But good work again, Tony Clubb. Samsoni Langi, he spotted him. He knew exactly where Tony Clubb was going, but he just couldn't have the power behind a shot to either dislodge the ball or stop Tony Clubb dead.
Shake of the head from the Wigan full-back. And Wigan get the start they wanted to the second half, just to head off any threat of a Catalan fight back.
One, move, go.
I think this is a big performance and a message that Sean Wayne would have wanted to send out to the rest of the Super League.
Hold.
People have been really having a go at them for most of the year, saying that they're not performing well, they're not playing attractive rugby, but still up there at the top end of the table. And they know that they've got to go to the likes of South of France and tougher win out.
Clubb, most recent try scorer. Oh, and that is a stray pass that's picked off by Benjamin Julien.
He just moved at the last second, did the support player from Wigan. Ended up in the hands of Benjamin Julien. If they can get through a couple of sets without making mistakes, then they can really ask some questions of Wigan.
Well, they haven't been able to since very early in the game. There was that break from Braden Williame, but really Wigan have handled whatever Catalan have thrown at them fairly comfortably.
They've dealt with everything, done a job on that man who's just passed the ball, Drinkwater.
Lucas Albert skips away from Willie Ice's challenge. Kenny Edwards, though, tight to the sidelines. Albert. Gudimond. That's the fifth tackle. And Gudimond trying his best to convince the referee he should have had a penalty. Crossfield kick. Up goes Thornley, but it's dealt with by Dan Sargentson.
So a knock-on by Ian Thornley when he jumps high. It looks like the ball propels forward from his hands. Even though Dan Sargentson gets to it, I think Ian Thornley's the first.
Okay now.
With a turnover then.
Yeah, on there, just go there, Sam. Go.
And Wigan will try and work the ball upfield. Catalan will try and pin him down.
And that's all they need to do in this set of six.
Whoa,
work the ball upfield. Is it Dan Sargentson?
Well, do you know what? He actually lost metres on that carry. Dan Sargentson stepped and stepped again before he'd actually took a step forward.
Here is Thomas Luluai, Drinkwater on his back. Kenny Edwards helping with the tackle. Powell, Clubb. Feisty Baitieri in there. And here's Powell. That's the fifth tackle. Good work from Catalan this set to restrict Wigan's progress, but kick to come from Williams. And it's ricocheted. It's still on the last, says the referee. It wasn't played at, so Tompkins this time, his kick. Busquet gets the tackle in, and Tierney will run the ball back.
It takes a favourable bounce, doesn't it, to Lewis Tierney, the former Wigan Warrior, playing over on the right-hand side. Fuad Yaha now comes in to lend his weight, but he just runs straight into the wall, which is Tony Clubb.
Sad news for Wigan, of course, from this game is the injury to Liam Marshall, which looked quite a bad knee problem.
Fingers crossed he'll be okay, but it didn't look good for him.
Busquet now. 4 tackles gone. Greenwood all over him. Joe Greenwood, who set the ball rolling for the Wigan Warriors. Here's Samsoni Langi, finds Benjamin Julien, and Benjamin Julien's just short of the try line. Loses his scrum cap, keeps the ball. Langi on the last. Drinkwater, little crossfield kick. Fuad Yaha gets the ball down. Great finish from the wingman. Referee hasn't awarded it yet. And we haven't seen referee Greg Dolan's decision. Here we go. Just wants to check whether Fuad Yaha was onside when Josh Drinkwater put another wicked kick in.
Look at that, straight at the line. That's the perfect marker for you. Just before the line, he's onside, Fuad Yaha. over on the left. He does a good job as well. You can see that he's looking over his right shoulder. He's running away from the ball, trying to get underneath it. And Phil Bentham, the video referee, I think I've no problem with this. Gets the ball down as well.
It's a good catch and put down from Fuad Yaha. But the kick, Tom Davies doesn't know whether to come in because he's got an enormous amount of ground to cover, as we see the decision from Phil Bentham.
And Fuad Yaha gets his 8th try in the last 7 games.
They were finding some space then in the previous set of 6. Samisoni Langi, who passes this ball to Drinkwater, who comes up with an exceptional kick, was starting to thread a few of the players through the line. Wigan all of a sudden were jumping out wide, but that kick was perfect.
He fools Tom Davies, and Tom Davies has been good at that skill throughout his career. It's very rare you see him get that wrong. He makes a motion forward, but very quickly slams the van in reverse and goes back as quick as he can. But unfortunately, Fuad Yaha, or fortunately for the Catalan Dragons, Fuad Yaha catches it and manages to get it down before he goes over the dead ball line.
So Josh Drinkwater from the sidelines, and that is why he has been such a fantastic acquisition for the Catalan Dragons, bringing kicking like that to their team.
It's the variety in his kicking game. As I said, the confusion in Tom Davies, that tells me that the deception around that skill was enough to throw Tom Davies off what he was trying to do. He's in all kinds of trouble trying to make that ground back up, but his running game, his passing game, his kicking game has been a real asset to Catalan Dragons since he joined the club.
So the Dragons on the board, Catalan 6, Wigan 22. Fuad Yaha, the try scorer, and still not sure whether his future has been sorted out, has it? There's still talk about him maybe moving on. Switch of codes.
Okay, Ben.
But he's in great form at the moment.
He's been good ever since he made his debut. Was it 3 years ago, Fuad Yaha? He's certainly a big, powerful player out there on the left-hand side for Catalan.
And he's a good finisher as well. It's rare he gets those wrong.
Da Costa, here is Busquets.
And that try just gives him a bit of confidence now, doesn't it?
It goes back to what we said just after half-time. If they can cut the mistakes out, work their way upfield and focus on what they've done well this year, which is hard carries, making meters, and then a good kick and chase, taking a leaf out of Wigan Warriors' book.
You've just got to get that kick right, though. You've got to get the weight right. 7 players now Wigan have. They made good meters from the kick-off, from the back line. They got over 60 metres away from their try line, but too much weight on that kick. And that just gives Wigan that extra play.
Hold.
2015, the last time the Wigan Warriors lost to the Dragons, and they certainly lost on that occasion. 58-16 the final score. Tony Gigot not involved in this game. He was in that game. He and Zeb Tyre each got a hat-trick.
I'll be honest, Bill, I fancied Catalan Dragons coming into this game. I thought with the way that they rested those players last week, players come in would want to impress going into that final. There's still a long way to go, or long enough, and with surging runs like that from George Williams, it's only got to stake a case for Wigan coming away with the 2 points.
Williams brought down, bit of a grimace on his face after that tackle. Pass not a good one, but Powell picks it up. Then Bateman. Wrestling. Up against much bigger guys, John Bateman, but crikey, punches above his weight, didn't he? Little kick comes in. Oh, it's got Tierney and all sorts of problems, and Albert has to cover for him.
Well, you never know where that ball's going to bounce. Goes along the floor. You can normally deal with those high kicks depending on where the wind's blowing, but along the ground you don't know which way the ball's going to go, left or right, if it's going to slow up, if it's going to bounce into one of the defenders that's chasing up really hard. And again, you just look where they have to bring the ball away from.
And look at the personnel doing that job as well. Samisoni Langi took the last carry and he's playing at standoff. It's only at this point here that Kenny Edwards, who is a forward, decides to join in, and Sam Moore, he gets on the back of an offload from the big fella.
Edwards putting in a good shift on this occasion, normally comes off the bench. Good deep kick, Escaré. 2 tries to his name. How he'd love to get a hat-trick on his old stamping ground.
No, Bill, that looked like a laboured chase for me, that. It was a good kick, they got the distance that they wanted, but when Morgan Escaré got that ball, he had space in front of him. All the Catalan players more or less jogging up towards him.
Tom Davis now. Alrix da Costa with the tackle. Partington. 4 tackles gone. And the ball put down by Bateman. It was Sutton's offload. And Kenny Edwards will try and make the most of the free play.
Well, Sean Wayne will be feeling last week and the almost capitulation that Wigan Warriors suffered. I think Castleford Tigers played a big hand in the second half of last week's game, but loose pass of an unforced mistake gives Catalan Dragons another look at the line.
Samoa tackled by Joe Greenwood. Here is Julian Busquet. No Remy Casti or Mikel Simon for this Catalan Dragons side on this occasion. Catalan, a slightly leisurely approach to this build-up, and then Samoa offloads. Alrix da Costa picks it up.
Got to get the execution right from dummy half. Da Costa, who's just playing it now, he's got to nail every pass down here.
Samisoni Langi trying to take on Greenwood, but Greenwood and Sutton with the tackle. 4 tackles gone. Just a few metres away from that line.
No, he's gone through, he's gone through.
Drinkwater puts the brakes on. Flower makes the tackle. The 5th. And there's the little kick comes in from Albert, and Tompkins sweeps it up.
Good positioning, wasn't it, from Sam Tompkins across the back. Obviously Josh Drinkwater was the man who was playing the ball on the 5th tackle. So Lucas Albert had to take control, and Sam Tompkins was aware of that threat.
Willie Isa, here is Dan Sarginson.
Hold.
He's been in the centres for the last 3 games as Sarge, as he's known to his teammates. 4 tackles gone.
Hold.
The pace of this game dropping slightly.
5.
I think if Catalan can just get another try here, they're trying everything. Good long kick here, kicking the distance, but good positioning from the youngster Lucas Albert, who links up with Lewis Tierney back at the line. Again, he's just picking out some of those bigger players.
I can see the point you made a moment or two ago, Tez, about the urgency in the Catalan Dragons side. That's a brilliant tackle. Oh, what a shame. Thomas Luluai gets underneath the ball, picks the player up.
Do you know, I don't know why people pick Thomas Luluai out. You must have seen him over the years when he's been playing for Wigan or for New Zealand. He's so dominant, his technique is so good. But he was offside, he didn't get penalised for the hit, he was offside.
Guys on the 20!
So penalty wasn't for the tackle, it was for offside. And the referee says take it again.
He tries everything, doesn't he? Kenny Edwards, he dummied to tap that ball and then tapped it again and played the innocent.
And Louis Anderson wrestling to get to his feet.
And urgency is the key for Catalan Dragons. They're the side that are behind on the scoreboard. They're the side that are chasing this game. They need to get there and get there quicker.
Here's Samoa. Good defence again from Wigan. Greenwood involved. Drinkwater. Samisoni Langi finds Kenny Edwards. Edwards, that's great work from Willie Isa. And Wigan will counter with Tom Davis, and Davis gets away. He's got some support from Escaré. Escaré will go for a hat-trick. He won't get there. Across comes Thornley to make the tackle.
Hasn't he been good, Morgan Escaré, but what a break from Tom Davis.
And they still have the chance here. Williams weaving his way towards the corner. They won't catch him. Oh, what a great counter that is from the Wigan Warriors. And George Williams finishes it off. just back in the sides in the last few weeks after 6 games out.
Well, under siege on their own line, Willie Isa comes up with a ball dislodging tackle, and the impressive Tom Davis picks up straight on the attack, finds Morgan Escaré, who's playing on the wing this afternoon. And watch this now, the recognition from George Williams. He's looking at the big man, he's looking at Bousquet, thinking, come on then, come and have a go, come and tackle me. He knows that the agility and energy is in his favour, and he beats the big man, scores in the corner. They've had no possession, been under threat, and they go all the way down the other end of the field and score a really, really good try.
And that surely heads off any hopes of a Catalan fight back. Counter-attack was superb from the Wigan Warriors. Tom Davis leading the way. And it looked for a moment as though Morgan Escaré would get the chance.
They certainly react to what the teammates are doing, and I think Willie Isa, who comes up with that tackle, dislodges the ball. I think he's very underestimated.
Not by Wigan, they've given him a new 3-year deal.
Yeah, not missed a game all year. The only Wigan player to feature in all games this year. I think he plays well above his weight.
I agree, Tez.
The Wigan fans here now, just enjoying it.
I agree, Willie Isa, what a sound investment that player has been. In attack and defence, gives his all.
He's been doing that for years.
I know, but I like it.
He's been doing it for years. Just shake me head.
I like it.
Just look away. He might go away.
I do like it, even if I laugh and me alone. I have got better at it over the years, though, haven't I? My delivery's got better.
No, not really.
Well, Sam Tompkins missed only 1 goal kick. He missed with a drop goal attempt in the first half as well. But this probably the most difficult for him, and on target.
This is it, Tom Davis, look at him. Just throws that head back, and that's the running technique that he's got. Links up with Morgan Escaré, who's been explosive. Every time he touches the ball, he's going to cause some danger. And when George Williams gets the ball, he highlights, he picks out a bigger man. The footwork, the in and away on Julian Bousquet, can't do anything about it. He's backing off, knowing that that man is coming towards him, but knowing that he's there and trying to deal with it, that's 2 different things.
Wigan ahead by 28 points to 6 now. And surely mission accomplished for Sean Wayne's team.
You were right, Bill, when you said they've been efficient. They haven't been perfect. They've gone through the basic game plan. They've gone through the detail of their game plan as well as they can do. And as the microphones picked up and Tez pointed out from the lips of Sam Tompkins, they were focused on the kick chase. That therefore means they were focused on the kick. That there also means that they were focused on the defensive efforts after that.
Here's John Bateman.
Held! Release! Oh.
And Wigan on their own 40-metre line into the final quarter of the game now. So 3 from 3 it looks like being for Wigan against this Catalan Dragons side, unless the Dragons can fire into life in this last quarter. But surely minds now will go to what lies ahead, a trip to London, which is going to be interesting to start with, because getting to London at this time of the year is proving difficult for the Catalan team, who I think are having to travel in 2 separate contingents, and certainly for the fans who are trying everything to get to Wembley and paying a fortune by all accounts.
It's difficult for the fans, and your heart goes out for the fans, but there should be a big travelling army by the Catalan Dragons supporters. There's a Kenny Edwards mistake, hands Wigan the ball.
And Tompkins sets Sargentson away, and Sargentson has Escaré outside him, but Thornley makes the tackle. Escaré, Greenwoods into the middle of the field with Partington, who comes back this way. Lanky lad, Oliver Partington. Powell, Luluai, Williams. Williams, whose footwork undid the Catalan defence last try. Spun to the ground by Gudemond. Romain Navarrete, another one of the Wigan French contingent out there, Navarrete, who began his playing career with Limoux. And here is Williams, Greenwood, Sarginson couldn't get the pass onto Escaré. Good defence from Tierney on that occasion. Escaré flings the pass to Navarrete, who gets the ball back to Powell. Powell to Tompkins. Tompkins out wide to Willie Isa. Isa puts a lovely kick in. Davis will chase, and Albert across.
It looked like a scrappy end to the set of 6, but what about that? Talked in the first half about how the Wigan players were reloading, getting back behind the man who's got the ball and offering themselves as an option. And that was a clever kick from Willie Isa. Just dabs it through the line, and Tom Davis chases up really hard, catches Lucas Albert's leg just underneath him.
And that is a good point, Tez. These Wigan players getting back on side, making themselves available, making sure that players like Sam Tompkins have options available to them. When the kick goes in, they react and respond accordingly.
Sam Tompkins reached a couple of significant milestones recently. 200 Wigan starts, 200 career tries, and some way to go in the game yet. As has Lucas Albert. Seems to have been around for ages. Only 20 years of age, Lucas Albert.
Yeah, good player. Lots of talent in his kit bag. He's still got to come to terms with the responsibility of a half-back. I think that's why he's playing at full-back.
Greenwood was trying to get Escaré away.
You could see what he was trying to do there. It was probably too far in front of the makeshift winger.
Not done a bad job, the makeshift winger. 2 tries. Could have had a hat-trick.
Morgan Escaré, he's free. He's got the line at his mercy. I mentioned that in the first half. They do leave a player on the outside, Catalan Dragons. They can press in. They challenge teams to get around them. They want you to throw that long pass because they feel they can deal with it.
That looked on though, didn't it?
Yeah.
Morgan Escaré was just back a couple of steps. If he's up in play, if he's in front of Sarginson, that was definitely the play.
Notice Lewis Tierney with that right thigh heavily strapped. Don't know if that's something that he's picked up during the game.
He didn't start like that, did he?
Concern for the Catalan Dragons. They don't need any of those.
Good shot from Partington. Picked out Gudemond then.
2 young players going toe-to-toe there. Here is a slightly more experienced character in Julien Bousquet.
They'll play the ball of sorts by Bousquet. At least he stood up.
Michael McAlorum on the field against his old club. Benjamin Julien. That's the 5th tackle. And McAlorum will put the kick in over the top. It's a lovely kick into the corner.
That's a beauty.
And Tompkins is pinned down there. Thornley with the chase.
That's a beauty from the hooker. Pops out. All the chasers are onside. If the hooker pops out and puts the kick in, it was a quality kick and an exceptional chase. And Catalan Dragons now trying to pressure the Warriors. Is that the 10-metre line?
Here's Tom Davis. 3 tackles gone for Wigan, this set of 6. Sutton, here's Willie Isa. And he can't make much progress. Kenny Edwards delaying things as long as he can. Bateman crosses the field and he does make inroads. John Bateman does make ground and then puts a kick ahead for Escaré to chase. Escaré against Tierney, and Tierney will win that race.
Well, good foot race between those 2 players, and that shows the skills of this man, John Bateman. Look at that excellent kick from the back row, and Lewis Tierney just has the speed on Morgan Escaré.
Well, that's his pet player, John Bateman. If he doesn't like what's in front of him on his edge, he'll come back towards the middle, looking for tired, gassed, big men, big players. As the 2 French fullbacks reacquaint themselves But John Bateman, he breaks that line, he spins, runs backwards, keeps his footing, meanders his way through that gap, and just has the presence of mind. He assesses it, thinks, I can't find a support player, so I'll just nudge it on.
What is he? Second row, centre, standoff?
He's a rugby player. I watched him as a fullback playing for Sid Hall Amateurs in Halifax.
He can play on either edge, he can play in the middle, he's good all over the field.
I watched him playing Oak Mage at about, I'm sure he was about 15 or 16, so he's always had that ability to play at whatever level he's at with the right composure, and I'm sure we all wish him well in this competition over in the NRL, but Wigan Warriors fans, not just yet.
Williams looking for a second. Burst of acceleration from him almost took him home, but Catalan under pressure. Here is Bateman. Bateman is the word from referee Greg Dolan as Bateman does surrender. Luluai. Tompkins puts a kick in, he will chase it himself and almost get there, and again it's Lucas Albert who comes covering across.
He's been outstanding today. He's taken charge, taken control. They've had so many different points of attack, the Wigan Warriors. That's where the confusion has been for the Catalan Dragons, but he has been outstanding. He's been the best player in a Wigan shirt this afternoon.
I know they've conceded 28 points, Catalan, but you've got to give them praise for the defence, because Sam Tompkins kicks that ball because they can't get through the line. Short kicking game from Wigan. Yeah, some of the kicks have been too strong. Some of them are just about right. And it's just all about now grinding out the win. Just getting through the next 14 minutes for the Catalan side without picking up any injuries, but making sure if you're a Wigan player, you finish the game well.
Well, like Warrington last night against the Castleford Tigers, as Tompkins nonchalantly chips that ball up into his own hands. Catalan have probably salvaged some pride with their attitude in this game, even if they're not going to win it.
I agree, Bill. It's not the same side we saw midway through the season that were scratching about, trying to find form, trying to find confidence. There is a lot at stake for them in terms of what's coming up. Bernard Gouache, he stuck faith with Steve McNamara, kept his cool.
Oh, and Greenwood motoring through, gets his second of the game. A double for Joe Greenwood. And that time the Catalan defence was pretty flimsy, and Greenwood, he's obviously a popular figure since he's joined the Wigan Warriors. Big genial character.
Well, wasn't this a good ball, well weighted from George Williams, and that's the sign of respect really from the Catalan players. When George Williams gets the ball, you do know that he is going to take you on. He is going to make you account for him before the man outside, and Benjamin Julian getting caught in no man's land really, because he's looking at what's in front of him. He's looking at George Williams, and he just switches off that gap there.
Catalan on the way to defeat, just like Warrington last night, and it means it'll be the first time since 2014 that both Wembley finalists have gone into the Cup final on the back of a defeat. It was Leeds and Castleford last time it happened in 2014. Thanks, Ian.
It matters not a jot in terms of what's going to happen next weekend. If both teams go in in the same form, then they start on a level playing field, but I'm sure Warrington and Catalan Dragons would have preferred those fixtures and results to be reversed.
If looks could kill.
Wow, it's a big call for Mr. McDermott, that.
The facts were correct.
Tompkins missed just one goal kick all afternoon, and he's on target with that one all evening.
Well, big Joe Greenwood over on this left side, this left edge, has constantly caused problems for Catalan Dragons. It was wonderful pass selection from George Williams, who is another top performer. He has a short option, he has a long option. Benjamin Julian has an impossible decision to make, and he makes the wrong one, and all the players rush in. And who know that the Huddersfield Giants have something going on where the last one in to congratulate the try scorer gets a fine. Maybe that is something similar for Wigan. You'd have had no chance, O'Connor. You'd have had no money left.
That could get out of control, couldn't it, if you've got
slow ones
trying to descend on a try scorer. Somebody could get hurt. Here is Greenwood. He can stand that. Big character. Williams gets the pass away to Sarginson. Thornley makes the tackle. Baitieri there as well. And up the middle comes Oliver Partington. Catalan will be regrouping. They've got players to come back, of course. Gigot missing this one. Casti, Mikel Simon, all coming back into it. And Steve McNamara does seem... I mean, we haven't seen an awful lot of Michael McAlorum in this game.
No, I think he's come on for the last 18 minutes in this second half. I think he played the first 20 minutes, and there'll be a different attitude from these Catalan players next week. And right, everyone says that, yeah, there's a good shot again. Who've they picked out? They do it all the time. They pick out Thomas Luluwai. I have no idea why people do it. Look at a smile on his face.
And they're all rushing to congratulate him as well.
Look, he just launches himself into Kenny Edwards.
Kenny Edwards has made a big impact since joining the Catalan Dragons, but Wigan have fronted up against him today. He hasn't had the same freedom that maybe he's got early on in his career with Catalan.
He's not had his supporting cast. Remy Cast, who I think has had one of his best seasons of his career. Yeah. Mikel Simon, they've obviously been taken out of the firing line, but they've been unable to dominate the middle channel, and that's what has worked for them this season. They have a very simple, basic game plan. Catalan Dragons, it's simple but effective. They want the right field position, they want the right territory, and they've been denied that by a very stubborn, very resilient and very efficient Wigan Warriors.
Big day of rugby league here on Sky Sports. We're all over the place. We've been in Salford, we're in Perpignan, and next up it's Toronto. Toronto against Hull Kingston Rovers against in the qualifiers, coming up next on Sky Sports Arena to round off a really busy day. And Wigan looking to round off this impressive performance with more points. They've scrambled to victories against Catalan Dragons earlier in this season. Well, just 3 weeks ago they scrambled to that 25-20 win. Earlier in the season they had to fight back to win the game. This one they really have dominated.
And they look like they've tackled harder, they've run harder. Whenever they've made a half break, they've not panicked, they've waited for the teammate, they've waited for the next play. And again, Thomas Luluwai involved in that tackle. I think some of his defensive efforts have been brutal today.
Here's Drinkwater. Drinkwater to Samisoni Langi. Samisoni Langi cornered by Gabe Hamlin and Sam Tompkins. Couldn't find Fuad Yaha, who was in support. Drinkwater. Here is Sam Moa. Moa puts Sam Powell on his backside. So with Lucas Albert. Albert crossfield kick, but it's a poor one, and Escaré will gather it.
Well, poor effort on the fourth player then. Maybe the best option was to run it, try and get a couple of the Wigan defenders interested. But it's a decent set over on the left-hand side when they got that half break. Gabe Hamlin and Sam Tompkins just managed to get back and prevent a try, but now they're offside. Give the penalty away as George Williams is trying to take a quick tap.
Salford, Perpignan, Toronto, a rugby league first on Sky Sports. Penalty for the Wigan Warriors. Tompkins puts it into touch. The sun was glinting on the Manchester Ship Canal earlier on in the day. It's glinting on the Mediterranean, no doubt, this evening. Setting out at Canet Plage, and I'm sure the Wigan fans, those that have made the journey, will probably be heading down there.
Good weather over in Toronto, I suspect, as well. Cosmopolitan Sports Super League.
Here is Dan Sarginson. Sarginson weaving. Escaré likewise, hoping to find a gap, hoping maybe that the hat-trick will still come his way. 2 tries in the bag for him, 2 for Joe Greenwood. Romain Navarrete.
Wouldn't he like a try as well against his former club?
He's had a good performance, Navarrete, on the last here. And Lulawai it is who puts the kick in, and swept up by Lucas Albert, but Tom Davis gets a hold of him.
A good positioning from the youngster at the back. And again, you see where they're trapped now. It's going to be very difficult for them to make any kind of inroads through this Wigan line.
Not only have they been close to the line when they've been starting sets, but they've been in the corner. How many times have we seen Catalan work away from these corners? It's such a difficult job, because it means the defensive line can compress in. You can only ever run one way, and that's the reason there's a good deal of whack in the defence of Wigan.
Just go back to Morgan Escaré. Great that he's enjoyed his time on the pitch against the Catalan Dragons, but sad that it was Liam Marshall's injury that led to that, and here's hoping that Marshall's injury is not as serious as it first looked.
And a good partnership, hasn't he, with this youngster as well, Tom Davis. Both of them have been creating their own headlines over the last couple of years with their performances.
Penalty, Catalan all over the place.
Well, the all-stage knew exactly what he was doing then, Kenny Edwards. Because of the speed at which Tom Davis was playing that ball, then he couldn't get set, he couldn't reposition himself in front of Davis, who was playing the ball.
Again, Tompkins thumps it into touch.
Took a couple of big shots then, but still managed to land on his front plate quickly.
Long pass, Sargentson. Sargentson puts another little kick ahead. Still going Dan Sargentson, trying to tow that one on into a tempting area for Morgan Escaré, but couldn't do that, and Albert sweeps up.
He'll probably be forgiven from his coach with the scoreline as it is, but I'm not sure it was the best option. 2-on-2. He beat the first defender, just dabs it behind the line, but a pretty nothing kick at the back end of it.
So Wigan will open up a 3-point gap above the Castleford Tigers in this contest for second place in the table. St Helens will have to wait a bit longer to wrap up top spot. Samisoni Langi is brought down. And a home semi-final looking increasingly likely for the Wigan Warriors. Still not home and dry yet, of course. 5 games to go.
Well, Dan Sargentson now trying to get down quickly, but the Catalan players are just holding him up, then waiting for some pressure from the inside. Here goes again Tom Davis. Another strong carry for him.
Last couple of minutes approaching. Catalan at least hoping that they can get through this 80 minutes unscathed, ahead of their big date against the Warrington Wolves next weekend. Escaré. Little chip kick ahead from Sam Tompkins, and Tompkins, what
brilliant
skill, what skill from him. The ball back on the inside from Partington. Referees wipe the tackle count clean. Lovely kick over the top, just too strong for Tom Davis.
What inventive play from Wigan. Sam Tompkins with the chip and chase, and instead of trying to regather it, he bats it back to young Partington. This is the back end, just a little bit too much meat on it.
Good play that from Partington though, wasn't it, to get the ball to Tompkins, but as you said, just too much on that. Tom Davis, even with the speed that he's got, he can't get to that ball to score the try.
Sam Tompkins smiling, and the Catalan fans will have been impressed by their new recruits. Big performance from him, big performance from Wigan, their biggest win in Perpignan since a playoff victory in 2008 when they won by 50 points to 26. A great relationship between these two clubs, of course, because Catalan's first game in Super League was against the Wigan Warriors, a memorable night back in 2006, and so there's always been an affinity, great respect for Wigan in Perpignan.
Had some great battles pre-Super League down in the south of France. The fans always turned out for those clashes.
Little pop-up pass. Davis waits for it. Now tries to power his way through Fuad Yaha to that line. But Yaha and Kenny Edwards make the tackle. Edwards is all over him. Wrestling match there.
And he earned some penalties, doesn't he, Tom Davis? Got sheer desire to get up. Here goes
Bateman. Can't get the ball down. That would have been a cheeky try from John Bateman. Davis, Tompkins balloons the pass out wide to Greenwood. Greenwood finds Sargentson. Sargentson steps back in field. Partington lobs it back in to the middle of the pitch to Gabe Hamlin. Hamlin plays the ball. Tompkins goes for 1 point on the hooter, gets it, and rounds off not only a great personal performance, but a very satisfying Wigan win. And there I go. I think you're right.
Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it?
Last one in's a sissy. But what a great way to round off that victory. Sam Tompkins inspiring Wigan to a convincing victory. 3 wins from 3 against the Catalan Dragons this season for the Wigan Warriors. Dragons 6, Wigan 35.
Yes, thanks very much, Bill. 3 from 3 in 2018, 9 in a row now against the Catalan Dragons for the Wigan Warriors. They have made it 2 from 2 in the Super 8. An 18-0 half-time lead extended in the second half, and they run out 35-6 winners in the end. Well, John Wells, 18-0 at half-time. I think Wigan put the game to bed really with Tony Clubb's early try in the second half.
Yeah, they did. It's something that Tony Clubb's become a bit of a trademark of his, hasn't it? That was Clubb getting over for the score. You've also got Fuad Yaha.
Brilliant kick from Drinkwater.
It was, wasn't it? And a good finish by Yaha as well. And this, we were talking at half-time, weren't we, about what they were perhaps going to show in response. Going in at half-time, disappointed to be where they were on the scoreboard. And although they showed a little bit of fight, really it was a case of holding back the tide. I think this was a pretty decent Wigan Warriors performance. You know, there's a couple of the usual supporters, Tompkins, this man Williams, you know, looked to be having a real cracker of a game.
He went from scorer to provider as Joe Greenwood went over for his second then on the left.
Yeah, and this is the real difference now is that there's a good, genuine foil runner for Williams on that left-hand edge.
Okay.
Gives him another option. He's known as a runner, isn't he? So gives him an option.
Okay, they've sealed the win. They move now to within 8 points of St Helens. They won't catch St Helens. You would imagine St Helens will take out the league leaders trophy shortly. But for the Wigan Warriors, their aim is securing second spot and a home semi-final. There is now a 3-point gap between them and the Castleford Tigers, and just look at the points difference, plus 259 for the Warriors, plus 95 for the Tigers. Well, the Catalan Dragons, we posited the question before the game, would they have one eye on Wembley? It was an affliction that hit the Warrington Wolves last night. Their coach Steve Price conceded as much post-game. I think it's fair enough to say the same happened here today. A couple of changes by Steve McNamara, a couple of late changes. Tony Gigo dropped out of the side. 18-0 at half-time. I said to you, would we see a response? You couldn't really give me an answer, could you? We'd have to just wait and see.
I expected one. I thought, as I said at half-time, is that you've got to look for something to go into Wembley week with other than a shellacking on the field, and I think it was all set up for that, and Wigan have got eyes on other prizes, haven't they, this year, and I thought they were incredibly professional, by the way, but the Dragons will be disappointed with that, because that's a comprehensive defeat.
If there was a question mark beside the Wigan Warriors name going into this game, it was what happened last week with a 20-0 lead over the Castleford Tigers and allowed Castleford back into the game, winning by just 2 points in the end. I'm guessing that Sean Wayne, what will please him most is that they extended an 18-0 half-time lead and put pressure almost throughout that second 40 minutes, right up till the final whistle on the Dragons.
Yeah, and very similar when you look at Sean Wayne's objectives, and that is go to the south of France, get a victory and get home. Very similar objectives that Darryl Powell would have had with his charges last night in the game against Warrington. Professional players are very good at compartmentalising things, so the Wembley week would have been put to the back of their mind. Sean Wayne's job, channeled to his players, was bringing it very much to the front of their mind, knowing, I've got a big game next week, and then allowing no foot off the gas or anything. And I think it was a very accomplished performance, actually.
Okay, rest now for the Warriors before more Super 8 action for them in 2 weeks' time. Our trilogy of matches started today at Salford, the AJ Bell Stadium here. We saw Salford beat Widnes in the qualifiers. We've just been to the south of France to see the Wigan Warriors beat the Catalan Dragons. And we're going to end the day over in Toronto. The first time ever on Sky Sports. We'll bring you a Toronto Wolfpack home game from the Lamport Stadium. It means a special occasion, John. It's a big occasion for the Toronto Wolfpack. I just want to repeat a quote from Brian Noble, their director of rugby. He says, "This is the biggest test in the history of the Wolfpack as a Super League opposition in the shape of Hull Kingston Rovers roll into town."
Yeah, and they've got some of the household names as well. I'm really interested to see how Danny Maguire's going to go.
Richard Whiting's called into the side. Actually, the experienced Whiting comes into the side. Didn't play against Halifax last week in the qualifiers.
Yeah, no, it's a good team, and they've had plenty of changes, haven't they? But they've also got a core there that we've seen an awful lot from in the Toronto Wolfpack colours this year. Gareth O'Brien obviously has been a mainstay at fullback. Ashton Sims has been he's kind of taken on the mantle as the unofficial leader of the pack, so to speak. But you know, as I said, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what Danny Maguire does for Hull KR, because I think that could be really interesting.
Well, Tim Sheens has said following their defeat in round 1 against Salford. Now, saw Salford with a good performance today against Widnes. There's an incredible amount of pressure. It's the same, we talked about it being on Widnes in their game against Salford. Lose your first 2 qualifiers games, and history has shown you won't be back in Super League. Not to say it's going to happen for sure, but there will be enormous amount of pressure on Tim Sheens and his men if they don't win in Toronto.
Yeah, and this is the trip that nobody wants, wasn't it? It was not
logistically difficult.
Logistically, and also there's no real precedent, there's no real history, unlike going to the south of France that plenty of teams have done, and we've just seen the Wigan Warriors go there and do it. This is something different altogether. There's been rumours about condition of hotels, condition of facilities, logistics, training, all those other little obstacles that they've got to get over. And whilst, again, this is a professional team in a professional sporting environment, those things do chip away and eat up emotional energy in the build-up to a game, and a big game as we're covering. But that's why I return to, you know, on this Hull KR side of the team list, I return to a man like Danny Maguire, who has been there and done that at every level. For as long as we can remember, certainly as long as I've been commentating on league. So you know, I think having him in a Hull KR shirt will be a huge fillip for them.
They'll need to draw on the experience of Danny Maguire, no doubt about that. There is no other side who has more experience of qualifiers action than Hull Kingston Rovers. 22 times they have been in the qualifiers. It's not a record they'll be incredibly proud of. They will want to avoid dropping out of Super League, that's for certain. It's a massive night for the Toronto Wolfpack. Super League opposition in Toronto for the first time ever. We'll bring you all the coverage live here on Sky Sports.
Just looking to pass, earn the right to play, go forward.
Gale to Hardacre. Hardacre to Minikin. Wide to Eden. 31 for the season.
Is there anyone who doesn't want me dead?
Next time you get in my way, I will not be so gentle.
Girl problems again.
Shut up! Hands up! Oh, yeah!
Marvel Spider-Man, only on PlayStation. For the players.
At LV, our car insurance comes from the heart. Our uninsured driver promise means if you're hit by someone without insurance, your no-claim discount will stay intact. And you'll have no excess to pay. For cover from just £199, go direct to lv.com.
What would you like to pay for your room tonight? 120, 100, or 89 euros? It's the same room, same service, just different prices. It's really up to you. Well, nobody ever asks you this at the hotel reception, do they? But this is exactly what Trivago does for you. Trivago gives you a variety of options by showing you prices from more than 200 different websites and apps. Trivago just compares. The choice is up to you. Hotel Trivago.
Well done, wizard. You are a true friend of the crown. Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly. What would you have me do now, Your Majesty?
Turn that into Bud Light.
Okay.
Now turn that statue into Bud Light.
You know, Your Highness, I can do other things. I can put a curse on your enemies. I can make you immortal.
Yeah, no, just the Bud Light thing.
Dilly dilly. Keep it Bud Light.
Pay 0% interest at Curry's PC World.
Our new range of LG OLED TVs starts from only $1,799. Spread the cost with 18 months interest-free credit. Own this stunning 55-inch LG V8 for under £100 a month. Go bigger and get the 65-inch for an extra £39 a month. Come and test drive the Dyson V10, their latest and most powerful cordless. Now less than £25 a month over 18 months. Plus, we have interest-free credit on lots of other products too. From the latest laptops and TVs to cameras and built-in appliances. Now you can get the tech you really want. At Curry's PC World, we help you get it right.
Something big is coming to brand new, a league of their own.
Somebody take my glasses. You're getting way too big for your boots. Oh my God.
Jamie's skating like he's pooed himself.
Is that taking your nan to the shops?
A league of their own is back and bigger than ever. Starts Thursday the 30th of August at 9 on Sky 1.
Monaghan cutting a swathe at the knee. This Eden has lost it. Maguire swoops. Maguire scores the try for the
Oh, the CN Tower in the background, I should say. Lamport Stadium in the Liberty Village neighbourhood of Toronto plays host to the first ever qualifiers game for the Wolfpack. It's round 2 and the opposition are Hull Kingston Rovers. Toronto got off to a winning start with a 14-0 win over Halifax. Rovers defeated by Salford, and that will put the pressure on Tim Sheens and his men as they become the first Super League opposition to visit the Canadian side. Right, sides were announced about an hour ago. A couple of changes for Toronto in the back line. Nick Rawsthorne comes in, as does Mason Caton-Brown for his first appearance for the Toronto side. No Matty Russell and no Liam Kay, both injured in victory over Halifax. Pack is unchanged for Paul Rowley's team, and just one change on the bench. We mentioned it before the break. The experienced Richard Whiting comes in alongside Jack Buchanan, Andy Ackers and Adam Sidlow. No Will Oakes for Hull Kingston Rovers, so Joe Wardle comes in on the wing. Todd Carney has a calf injury and cannot play, has not travelled to Toronto, so Chris Atkin partners Danny Maguire in the halves. And there is no Sean Lunt. Big blow. The experienced Tommy Lee will come into the front row alongside Rob Mulhern and Nick Scruton. And following a 2-match suspension, there is return for Mossy Massoy. He's picked by Tim Sheens alongside Ben Kavanagh, James Donaldson and Chris Clarkson. Pressure was on Widnes earlier today. They weren't able to aim up against Salford. They are none from 2 in the qualifiers. The same fate may await the Hull Kingston Rovers, John, if they are not able to overcome the Toronto Wolfpack here. Massive day for Toronto. Looking at the side that has been selected, looking at the way that side has developed, do you feel it's a side equipped to deal with the pressure of this game and the ability of the opposition?
I think certainly from Toronto's point of view, I think they're more than capable, aren't they? I mean, you start at the fullback position. Gareth O'Brien has been, I think he was a standout signing for them at the start of the season, and a real statement of intent. And these boys in the red, Hull KR, they've got a job on. They've got a real job on. They're away from home. They're off the back of a defeat, as you say. Their form this year has been patchy and scratchy at best. They've got game winners, no doubt. Junior Vaivai in the centre, certainly one to watch. He's blockbuster, box office, as is Mossy Massoy off the bench. But this is is all about one team, and it's about the Wolfpack, isn't it? It's the most meaningful game to date.
We saw Toronto in action in a cup game against the Warrington Wolves, and they disintegrated under pressure, John. Ill-disciplined, and the game just drifted away from them very quickly. I'm not suggesting we will see the same today, but what can Hull Kingston Rovers do to make it an uncomfortable start for the Wolfpack?
Be Hull KR, do what they do best. I think playing into the hands of the opposition or trying to rattle is not the way that they're going to get anything out of this game. I think Hull KR on the day with Adam Quinlan at the back is, you know, they're a very, very dangerous side. When on, already spoken about Danny Maguire, of course, and Chris Atkin in the